Hey everyone, and welcome to my July edition for the Sassi Sentinel. We're here today to talk about real estate and other fun stuff. This month, we're celebrating the independence of our country. And in case you didn't know, the founding fathers of the Second Continental Congress declared that the 13 colonies were no longer subject and subordinate to the monarch of Britain and were now united, free, and independent states. The Congress voted to approve independence by passing the Leave Resolution on July 2nd and adopted the Declaration of Independence 2 days later on July 4th of 1776, establishing the United States of America. With everything that's been going on in our country and this sense of anger and division we see in the media and all around us, I'm just going to call for tolerance and compassion. A couple of virtues we seem to have forgotten about and that we really need right now if we want to deliver our children with a better world. So before you get angry with someone else because they have a different opinion, please take a long breath and remember that they have the right to think different just like you do. And if you want a better world, start at home with your family, friends, co-workers, and be that person you want others to be. I say this with much love and respect. Now, what is going on with the real estate market in South Florida? With the presidential elections coming up, a lot of people are kind of wondering how will this affect the real estate market. So let's talk about that for a second. Even though no one can predict the future, we can use past data to understand patterns and behaviors that might help us determine what's possibly going to happen and therefore make an informed decision about our potential investments. All the information that you will see now is based on national data, not just South Florida. So with that being said, these numbers were probably a lot higher in our area, so keep that in mind. As we can see in this chart, which data is provided by BTIG, an independent consultant survey company, the typical season drop in transactions for October and November during non-presidential election years is 9.8%. It also shows the typical drop in transactions for the same 2 months during presidential election years, which is 15%. Based on this information, you can see an adjustment in the number of transactions for those 2 months, but it is not as dramatic as many people think. Now, this drop doesn't mean these transactions will not occur. What it means is that they will just get delayed. That brings us to the historical data on the number of sales the year after an election year. Home sales went up after 9 of the 11 presidential elections, which makes total sense because all the people that have been waiting to see what happens after the elections are now ready to get back into the market. Now, how are prices affected after the presidential elections? According to the National Association of Realtors, existing home prices went up after 7 of the last 8 presidential elections. And according to Census, new home prices went up after 10 of the last 11 presidential elections. Want to see what happens with mortgage rates after a presidential election? According to Freddie Mac, from July to November, interest rates have gone down 8 of the last 11 presidential elections. Now, let's bring all of this information to a South Florida market, and I'm talking about the Tri-County area, which is Miami-Dade, Broward, and Palm Beach counties. Even though the inventory has increased in the past 90 days and we're looking at price reductions left and right, our market is still a seller's market. This is because we have a huge demand that comes not only from locals and nationals, but also from many foreign buyers that are looking to place their money into a safer real estate economy. According to the National Association of Realtors, Florida is the #1 destination for foreign buyers for 15 consecutive years, with a difference of over 10 to 20% over California and Texas, who rank second and third place respectively. And a Florida Realtor study shows that in 2023, the Tri-County area accounted for 47% of the international transactions in all of Florida. I do not have a crystal ball. I cannot tell you what's going to happen in the future, but if we go by what we have been discussing here, and if the mortgage rates continue to go down, we're obviously going to see another spike in home prices. So unless something crazy and unpredictable happens, we should be having a similar outcome and expecting a similar market behavior based on what we just looked at. Let's get into our residential inventory according to our local multiple listing service. Let's start with single-family market in Broward County. For single-family homes under $1 million, we have 2,848 homes on the market for sale as of today. That's 104 more than last month. In June, we had a total of 918 closed sales. That's about 86 less than the previous month. And for single-family homes over $1 million, we currently have 1,533 units for sale. That's 27 more than the previous month. And we had a total of 209 closed sales in June, which is 30 units less than in May. The least expensive house in Broward County sold for $180,000, and the most expensive one sold for $17 million. Average days on the market for single-family closed sales in June was 45 days compared to 48 days in May. Let's now review Miami-Dade County. For single-family homes under $1 million, we have 2,079 homes for sale as of today. That's 89 more units than the previous month of May. In June, we had a total of 725 closed sales. That's 123 less units than the previous month. And for single-family homes over $1 million, we currently have 1,854 properties listed for sale. That is 38 less than the last month of May. We had a total of 241 closed sales in June, which is 16 less than the previous month. The least expensive house in Miami-Dade sold for $245, and the most expensive one sold for $62.5 million. Average days on the market for closed sales in June was 50 days compared to 54 days in May. Let's now jump into the condo market. As you will see in the following numbers, inventory keeps increasing. Closed sales went down since last month and days on the market went up, meaning that we keep diving into a buyer's market as condos get their financial and structural situation together. There are 8,957 condos for sale in Broward County as of today. That's 89 more units than the last month. 1,073 units were sold in June. That's 262 units less than in April. The lowest price condo unit sold for $20,600, and the most expensive one closed for $4.6 million. Average days on the market for June was 66 days compared to 60 in May. In Miami-Dade, there are 9,883 condos for sale as of now. 1,085 condo units were sold in June. That's 40 units less than in April. The lowest price condo unit sold for $65,000, and the most expensive one sold for $42.5 million. Now, can we stop here for a second and just visualize spending $42 million on a condo? Must be nice. Average days on the market was 81 days compared to 70 in May. Don't forget, I'm leaving the links to the lowest and highest price sales in Broward and Miami-Dade below this video so you can take a look at what you can get for the money here in South Florida. Let's now move into our multifamily properties, also known as income properties, which are considered residential dwellings as long as they have 4 units each or less. Anything over that will be considered a commercial property. These can be great opportunities for those looking to build wealth through real estate. First-time buyers can also use them as a stepping stone into wealth building by using them as a combination of primary residence and investment properties, where they can live in one of the units and rent the others. Call me for more details and questions about building generational wealth. So there are currently 379 multifamily properties listed for sale in Broward County. That's 27 more than the previous month. 30 units sold in June. That's 38 units less than in May. The lowest price unit was a duplex in Fort Lauderdale that sold for $465, and the most expensive one, a 145-foot waterfront fourplex in the heart of Lauderdale by the Sea in Fort Lauderdale that sold for $2.9 million. In Miami-Dade, there are 456 multifamily properties listed for sale as of today. That's 30 more than the previous month. 68 units sold in June. That's 8 units less than in May. The lowest price unit was a duplex in Little Haiti that sold for $300,000, and the most expensive one, a remodeled fourplex north of Coral Gables that sold for $3 million. The adoptable pet of the month is our sweet Teddy. Teddy was found all alone and almost dead in a cage where he could barely fit. He had serious laceration in his body and was skin and bones. A good Samaritan found him and brought him to a vet, where luckily Gina, our founder, was there. She couldn't believe her eyes and decided to take him to the shelter. It took us months and many surgeries for Teddy to heal. So his emotional wounds still remain, and he needs to slowly trust the new people in his life. So he will do best with adults and experienced owners that understand trauma and know that love and proper care and training can do and heal anything. He has so much love in his heart and is so ready to go home. Please call me if you want more info about Teddy. I hope you enjoy my recommendations below, and I sure hope to hear from you this month. And with that, guys, I am ending this video. I'd love to hear from you and what you think about this information I just gave you. Have a wonderful rest of your month, and until our next edition, keep it sassy.